All right, we are back, but finally it is on a good note as New York Mets win the second game of the Wild Card Series 7-3. We're all tied up at one game apiece. We go on to the do or die game three. I mean, there's a lot to start with. Since we start off with the pitcher last night, we'll do the same tonight. Jacob deGrom made the start. We all said this is a big start for deGrom. A multitude of reasons. Obviously, elimination game. Max struggling last night. Jake struggling against Atlanta and Oakland. The starts prior. The potential of maybe his last start as a Met, even though that's unrealistic, still a possibility. So there was a lot going into this game. And deGrom, for the most part, was able to get the job done. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. In the pregame show, I said 6 innings, like 3 hits, 1 walk. So I gave him a little more credit than I probably should have. But, I mean, that was around where he was at. I personally will let him go on a little more. I think this is the game where you really, turn him loose, 99 pitches. With this kind of bullpen, you don't have that many guys that you have a lot of faith in. We saw that as the game progressed with how much some of these guys were overworked and overpushed. So that's something we'll get to later. But then offensively, what I like is that we also talked about who needs to step up. Nimmo, maybe his last game as a man in the contract year. He stepped up. I said I need a big moment from Lindor. He got things started. We said this offense goes as P. Alonso goes. Home run. McNeil, batting champion. He comes through with a big hit. And Escobar gives you an RBI. Canada's on base guy. He gets on base twice. So this was the closest. And Diaz pitching really good as well. This was the closest to the Mets at 100% capability that we saw so many times earlier in the year where you had your big-time hitter step up, your big-time starting pitcher step up, and your big-time closer step up. So this is a big game. A lot of people stepped up, and we said that's going to be the recipe for success. So I'll turn to you, Andrew. What were your main takeaways from this ball game?
Yeah, I mean, Jake didn't have his A+ stuff, but I'd say he had his B+ stuff, and I think that was good enough. Obviously, again, first inning was big for the Mets. We wanted to come out, especially after last night. We didn't want to go down early. Jake just throwing 102 past Soto and just dominating the first. And like you said, Lindor, which we needed the big two to step up, hitting the homer right away, keeping the crowd into it. The crowd was great all night and never really got at the game because it seemed like every time the Mets were to get the run, then the Trent Grisham homer, and you're like, this dude again. Then they tack on the run in the third, and then they go right back in on the top of the fifth. Then Alonso homers, and then they finally had that big inning that we've been clamoring for. Finally, them to actually put up a run spot greater than one, a crooked number, as they said, and they finally do it. The walks come back, the victory pose, yes, sir. This is why, kids, you say no to walks, because that's Adrian Morano, whatever the hell his name is. He's got a beautiful girlfriend. He's going to go home and forget about that. He's got to, he's going to be fine tonight, even though he had a rough night at the ballpark. I'll be fine after it. Just couldn't get anybody out. Lindor bloops one in, walk, and then obviously a guy that me and Metsfan, who will be here later, talked a lot of shit about in the offseason, and we're like, hey, this guy's got to go. And wins the batting title. Didn't do anything yesterday at that one hit in the first inning, but then had a bunch. And even this game, a couple of flyouts were running the scoring position, and the guy, he left like 8 guys on base or 6 guys on base. Finally got that big hit in that 7th inning to put the game away. Acevedo made it, sweat it out, but Lugo comes in, hits the ground ball, and the ball game is over. And we will see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the good, so I guess we will go over to the bad, and that was the managing of the bullpen. To start it off, I mean, this was a one-run ball game before the Mets really got those insurance runs later on, and you go to Edwin Diaz in the 7th inning for the first time all season long. Now, I talked about in the pregame show yesterday, in the postgame show yesterday. I said pregame show today, postgame show yesterday, that why are we doing things now that we didn't do all year that got us to the 101 wins? Why would we change our philosophies now? And the playoffs, I understand you got to maybe push things a little more than you normally do. I understand that. But I don't have a problem with Diaz pitching in the 7th inning. It was more so, why is he facing the bottom of the order? And also, why was deGrom even out of the game to begin with? Again, I thought he should have pitched more than that. You want to save these guys for tomorrow. Again, deGrom, it's like eventually you're going to have to stretch him out if you want to make a deep playoff run. deGrom, to my recollection, has not thrown 110 pitches in a game yet this season. Maybe 107 is his max.
The Atlanta start before the All-Star break, I think he went up to 111. I think it was the one start in Atlanta before the All-Star. Before no,
I have to double check. I don't even feel like
yeah,
went
it was.
that
He threw
high.
100 in it. He threw 100 in Atlanta. I don't know if he got the 110, but I think he did
When
throw
was that though? That was
that was what? That was before the series, before the sweep in that
yes.
series.
So it's been some time. So eventually, when it comes to playoffs, you do hope there is a game where DeGrom goes 115, dare I say 120. Eventually, you do want to build him upside. If you want to get paid what you want to call yourself the best pitcher in baseball, eventually you got to really turn him loose. And so I wasn't crazy the way DeGrom was like, oh, yeah, I'll come out, no problem. Compared to Matt Harvey being taken out in 2015, he's like, no, you're not taking me out of this game. DeGrom was, oh, yeah, no problem. I'll come out, fine, 99 pitches. So I wasn't crazy about that. We'll let him go a little longer. But you warmed up Seth Lugo earlier in the game when DeGrom was struggling, around fifth inning, around there. And then you were going to use Adam Ottavino. The way I looked at it was use Ottavino or Lugo or have DeGrom go longer for that bottom half of the order. Then when Soto did come up to the plate, okay, then you could go to Diaz. He gets Soto. And then once you score all those runs, you're up 5 runs. I didn't think it was necessary to go to Edwin Diaz for another inning, especially after a over 40-minute delay in between innings with how long that inning went, with all the pitch comm issues and things like that going on and pitching changes. So Diaz had to throw those extra couple of pitches, get a couple more batters that, we really could have used them tomorrow. And it's like, generally speaking, I think Adam Ottavino could handle a 5-run lead. Normally he would, because he had been great all season long for the most part. There's a couple instances to give him a home run here or there, but we talked all year long. Adam Ottavino, when he came to his team, like, oh, you know what? He does get a bit wild sometimes. He can lose the strike zone, but he had really done such a great job of limiting that, and he looked like a much different pitcher than we had seen earlier in his career, and he had stopped walking batters and hitting batters and things like that. But all of a sudden, we just don't know what happened to this guy. He's hitting batters. He's walking batters. Thank you, MCA. And Lugo had to come into this game, and Ottavino ended up throwing 35 pitches. So is he even available tomorrow? I mean, that's one of the questions you have to ask yourselves. And it really was unexpected, and luckily Lugo was able to get out of it. You had the tying run at the plate, a big bat in Josh Bell, who has killed the Mets all year long. He hit the home run last night, so it got about as close as it could for a game that you were up 7-2, and you end up winning by 4 runs. It didn't feel like that, I mean, they made it as stressful as possible. And now when you turn the page and you're looking at the next game, you're going to need a big start out of Bassett, and he's a guy that will go
deep.
Has gone, way over 100 pitches, no questions asked. So at least you have that in your favor if he has his best stuff. It's been, past couple starts, not so much. But you're going to need Bassett to go deep into the games, and then you don't know just how much Diaz you have and if you have any Adam Ottavino at all. So that's the thing that has me worried, and it's like, why did we make the trade for Michael Givens if we're not using him with a 5-run lead? Get a high leverage reliever at the trade deadline. They didn't do that. So it's just that it'd be a nice spot to bring Andrew Chafin in that 7th inning. You're facing, a couple lefties and things like that.
Yep.
I would just really hope that I don't know. I mean, I would just, the way I look at it, we talked about it a lot. Someone else has to step up. And it feels like you shouldn't be forced to ask so much out of Diaz, to ask so much out of Ottavino. Like, you would like to see somebody else step up, whether that is Trevor May, who you also paid plenty of money to, Michael Givens, Drew Smith made this roster, yet to make an appearance. Somebody has got to step up. So, Andrew, you have any thoughts on just the lack of depth in that bullpen, it seems?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, me and you, again, Mets fan, we've all said it. Like, we knew that they didn't get the high leverage guy. Even though Givens has been good, why have they not used him? I understand exactly. I listened again. You shouldn't have brought Diaz in against the bottom of the lineup. You could have used the 2 innings, the 8th and the 9th, whatever. Buck, I saw a lot of this is just Buck being like, I have to use Diaz because if this game gets away, I don't use Diaz, a la Zach Britton. I think there's maybe a little bit of that in Buck, where he's just like, I have to get Diaz into this game. I can't,
Well, that's why it was okay to warm him up and have him at least face Soto, because Soto ended up batting in the 7th inning. So I would just have him warmed up, let somebody else start. Like I said, it should have been DeGrom, in my opinion. If not DeGrom, maybe Lugo, because he has those reverse splits. You were going to face Grisham. You're going to face Profar. So you were going to face some guys batting from the left side. Profar switch here, but he was going to bat left hand against Lugo. So I just felt like if you warmed up Seth earlier in the game anyway,
You should have brought him.
Maybe you go Lugo and then Diaz and then Acevedo, something like that. I just thought there were a few different ways they could have done it. It ended up working out all in all.
Yeah.
But we'll just see how much it affects them tomorrow. Because I think that, you know what? If this was game 3, I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. Whatever it takes to win, fine. You want to leave these guys in for 30 pitches? Fine. But you do have that game tomorrow. I mean, that's the Padres haven't used Josh Hader. They're trying to be conservative with some of their guys. So it was just interesting the way they went about that.
Yeah, and I think today was the kind of game 3 for the Mets. And if they don't win this game, and when they brought in Edwin Diaz, it was a 1-run game.
Yes,
that's true. That's the other thing is like you die with your best, and I do believe in that. Like, yes, Lugo, I agree with you. I probably would have brought in Lugo or leave Jake in and get Diaz warmed up in case Soto were to get up. But I think he was going to die with his best arms, and we've made a big deal with the inner circle of Buck, where he only trusts a few guys, especially in this type of game. And yes, when they blew it open, wouldn't have, did you have to bring him back out? No, to an extent, but he brought him out. And you know what? In the playoffs, you really can't rest because we all know, even though Trevor May has pitched well, I wouldn't say Tyler McGill, but Michael Givens. Let's say it was May or Givens when they blew it open and made it a 5-run game. Those guys are 2 walks, and there you go, and then there's the home run, and then you're back, and then you burnt Diaz. So I understand what Buck was trying to do. Was it the most useful way to use Edwin Diaz? No. But I at least understand what won the score of the game when he did it, and the regret of I bring in Edwin Diaz, and if I do bring in Lugo or May or Givens, and that backfires, and I've burnt Diaz and didn't use him to his best of his abilities, I guess I understand, especially in an elimination game. But again, we'll see. I think he's available for the 9th inning. Again, we saw Kenley Jansen pitch 3 days in a row throwing like 75 pitches. So in an elimination game, all bets are off. If you could throw, if you're good, you're going to be in the game. And I expect in the 9th inning, if they have a lead, Acevedo, I'm less inclined to say that, but Diaz especially, I'm guaranteeing if there's a lead in the 9th inning, Edwin Diaz will be in this game tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, night, whatever the hell the game is. Because, ESPN gave me like 7 different time slots for the game tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow night. I'm okay.
It's going to be 7 Eastern.
7 Eastern, yeah, because the Cardinals did lose.
It's the only game tomorrow.
Yep. Good job, Tommy Edman. Got to love the guy with the high WAR coming up to the biggest spot and popping up. Got to love it.
Well, his WAR is mostly from his insane.
Exactly. 7 better WAR than like Lindor, McNeil. Yeah, so good.
Okay. All right, Carson. I guess we can start off your thoughts on the 7th inning, 8th inning management, and then you can go into your main takeaways, just so we can put a bow on this conversation.
Well, I mean, first of all, when you die, they say that you see a white light. To be honest, I think you see this game. This thing took years off of my life. I think this was the most stressful game I've seen in a long time. The fact that it's a playoff stake, the fact that you're facing elimination. Acevedo almost killed me. He almost shot me completely dead. But Lugo comes in, establishes his curveball, induces the ground ball, game over. Lindor with an amazing home run to give us the lead. Alonso to give us the home run to get the lead. Brandon Nimmo seems to want the bag. He wants to get paid. McNeil maybe wants an extension too, because he's just wins a batting title, carries it into the postseason, and looks like he's made for the lights. Canna,
got on base twice.
That's he got on base twice, but like he looks a little lost.
He's still hitting those ground balls to third base quite a bit when he does put the ball in play.
Yeah.
He worked some at-bats. Like he had that one at-bat that was really long late in the game, and during that big rally, really tired out the pitcher. So, that always goes a long way as the pitcher's getting tired. He may make some more mistakes to Escobar, the guy's batting after him. So I did like that. But
you're still seeing enough Canna. He's able to be working the count. Yeah, that game took years off of my life. That was a long game. I'd say I was like just sweating a puddle. It was only the 4th inning. Like that was a tough one. The whole inning of what was his name? Morosian or what?
I think it was Moran or something like that.
Morosian, Meningitis. What was that? Like, that was the most frustrating thing I think I've ever watched in my life. The guy stepping off the mound, can't hear anything in the pitch comm. The funny thing is that
Snell was quicker than him.
oh yeah, exactly. The funny thing is that what did he need the pitch comm for? He was throwing all fastballs. So what did he need it for?
Yeah, that's the best way. Just
what did he need it for? And then Snell, oh God, that dude, like,
I hope that was a career high in walks.
It was a franchise, the franchise record or whatever.
It had
we had a playoff game or whatever.
God. I knew he had a walk problem, but Jesus.
Luckily for him, this team loves to bail out guys who walk batters, but
Yep.
Still was definitely not a quality start. I can tell you that from him. You know, Jake made a few mistakes, but
I noticed, Carson, you probably, I don't know if you have the data on this, you might. The changeup. It seemed like a lot of these hits were coming off the changeup, and I wondered why, because it seemed like he had the fastball going pretty good early, and then just felt like a lot of these hard hits were on that changeup on the outside corner to the left-handed batters. So Soto and these guys are kind of just pulling that thing to right field. I see him try to avoid the changeup for the most part. Did he use the curveball at all? I didn't really.
He used a few curveballs, but nothing too special. The changeup. The changeup, he just needs to locate it because it's got its movement on it, but he just missed a lot of. He just missed some spots. Yeah, he just missed some spots. Slider looked tight for a majority of the game. That was good. I was glad to see that.
Did struggle with the fastball in the corner.
A little bit more fastball heavy than I wanted him to be, but listen, it got the job done. He didn't have his best stuff, but he muscled through 6 innings. I would have expected them. I would have. Yeah. I would have let him go. I'm not going to lie. I would have let him go for the 7th inning. Just because of how many bullpen arms you burned yesterday. I understand you can go back-to-back games, but like Lugo was also a risk to bring in at the end. You didn't expect to bring Lugo. You wanted Acevedo to finish it out, but Lugo back-to-back days were like, okay, what's going on here? It was questionable the whole game, I'd say, from the offense and the defense point, the pitching. I mean, Buck definitely was walking a tightrope all night. He definitely was walking a tightrope all night. And it's tough to say that with a 4-run game or when it was a 5-run game where the offense actually did well and you seemed like you had breathing room, but he was walking a tightrope all night. So I don't know. I don't know who told Nito to swing.
I was going to get to that. Trust me, I was going to get to that.
No way somebody told him to swing. Like, I know we made that joke about Gore and everything. I'm talking about Gore not having any value to this roster, but is Nito dumb? Like, what is he doing there?
He also totally botched the bunt.
He couldn't get it down.
Completely botched that.
He made up for it with an insurance run, but
yeah, I think one of the other things I want to forget this is that in the middle of the game when DeGrom started struggling, David Peterson also warmed up.
Got warmed up, yeah.
So I think, like, when we talk about Buck's circle of trust, is it literally Diaz, Otto, Lugo, Peterson, and then you have your Givens, your May, your McGill, your Drew Smith? Like, is that really the order he values these guys?
I think I don't know if it was just more of the panic of not having Joely as an extra lefty. So I don't know if he's just trying to get a lefty up. He's his only lefty.
So,
but
Joely, I don't know what he had, but they said some injury, whatever, to get Ty on the roster. So I don't know. It definitely was interesting, but yeah, the whole Gore thing. There was a lot of weird stuff that happened with that whole substitution. It was pretty early in the game. But since it was a 1-run game, he said, okay, maybe this is your chance. And it was just brutal. I mean, if you want to go back even further with Darren Ruff, he finally gets on base due to a walk as the Padres walking everybody.
He got on base twice today. Twice.
Yeah.
He got the HBP in there.
The chance to get on base was if you walk hit by pitch is absolute bogus, just bum. But he gets on base. you have the hit where Profar is diving, and then you, of course, Eduardo Perez brought that up at least 3 times. Oh, that diving play to save a base. So Ruff can't advance to third because he's slow as a snail, so he can't do that. And then, of course, the very next batter was a fly out. And since Ruff can't move, like, he couldn't go anywhere. So it's just like, if you had somebody that was kind of competent running the bases, you could have got to third on the hit and then scored on the sac fly. So squandered that. Then you bring in Gore, and he's there to steal bases. You want to avoid the double play possibility, and he doesn't even get a chance to run with Nino swinging first pitch. You have to take at least one, maybe even a second, just to let Gore go. You have nobody out. Get in scoring position, and then if you want to maybe bunch him to third, set up Nimmo 1 out, that's a much better situation. Instead of Nino just swinging the first pitch, like, Nino is not the guy that swings first pitch. Never. Like, I'm sorry, like, not that he doesn't, but he can't. I would not let him swing first pitch because he isn't going to do anything with it. You know, like, he's the one guy. He's the one guy I'm not letting swing first pitch because if he hits it, it's not going anywhere. It was just, and then what happens is that the other thing is that, like, when Ruff faced the right-handed batter too, like, why are you not going Vogel back there? So it was just a lot of weird stuff with that whole DH position, the way it was utilized and not utilized, just very confusing in a lot of different areas.
I mean, I was hoping, fingers crossed, when Nito came up. I don't know if it was before he drove in that run or whatever, but I was expecting, since, you know, he's not as good against righties, that they would bring. I was expecting, again, because you got my hopes up earlier, Frank, that they would use Alvarez.
Did you see there was a portion before the Mets got all those insurance runs? Alvarez was right behind Nito on the steps. Yep. He had his helmet on. Yep. So they had him locked and loaded. He was ready just in case.
Again, and you know what? That made me excited because, like, okay, maybe Alvarez catches the rest of the game. The fucking dumbass. I think
McCann
would have came if the defense.
But I don't know. Just wasting catchers, but that would be contradicting what he said about saving the catchers and saving this and that. But
the emergencies.
All the
emergencies are emergencies. They're very important.
And even, you know, like, I just don't know. I mean, like, Guillorme, he wasn't used at all. Like,
nope.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting the way they utilize it. And again, I just can't believe that Ruff faced right-handed batter. He's lucky he got hit. Lucky, because he wasn't going to do anything else that at bat. It was just.
This is so true tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so true.
I mean, who else is going to pitch?
True.
You know, I mean, Otto is burnt. Diaz is burnt. Lugo's pitched 2 days in a row. He's probably going to have to go a third day. Like,
Bassett, time to go 8, Bassett.
Yeah, but we're really going to need that Chris Bassett we saw for the majority of the season.
Well, Bassett's if he was in that scenario that DeGrom was after 7, he's going back out there, Bassett.
Yeah.
You know he is. He's just got a rubber arm. So
I mean, you hope he could just get some run support so that you don't have to imagine, like, oh, it's only 1 run, because you know, if you have more than 1 run lead, then you could give Bassett a little bit longer.
And it puts you in it definitely have somewhat of an advantage for Game 3, because even though you have burned a lot of guys in that bullpen and stuff like that, they've hit Musgrove pretty well.
Very well.
They have. Yeah. So that it opens the opportunity. I don't think it's going to happen because this team is just the team that they are. But, you know, if it's like a 7-1 game, Peterson and Drew Smith are not as scary as you think it is in a 6-run game. But
keywords being 6-run game.
Walk the bases loaded, and then, you know, the tying runs are. How bad was the McCann contract? No, you can't even.
Still to be determined. The season isn't over yet.
Again,
he still could redeem himself.
Still to be determined. Exactly. I mean, just he's.
And I'm not trolling.
It's not looking good, but the book isn't closed yet.
Does he catch Bassett tomorrow? Because he's caught Bassett every time with Nito going the big 2.
If Alvarez catches Bassett, I'm gonna.
Alvarez is not catching.
Alvarez not catching.
I would smile though, because I know someone's gone.
But, like, he's caught Bassett, like, the last 3 times out.
Isn't that crazy, John? I know that's crazy. I know. It's really crazy.
No, we were talking about that earlier. I mean, Nito's starting back-to-back days. It's like, why not 1 more, right?
I tried to warn these 2 guys above me on the screen 2 years ago about this, and they didn't want to listen to me. They said, he is the guy.
We didn't
That
say he's the
guy.
guy. He said he was decent.
We're forgetting about it. We're forgetting about it.
And McChicken still lives. It's okay.
I mean, Walker's fastball against the Padres is it's not a.
Yeah, that's not fun. No, thank you.
I feel like decent. I don't feel great, but I don't feel
I feel better about the offense.
I feel decent. Yeah. I mean,
I think the offense can put something up. Will they? Who the hell knows?
Who knows?
It's just crazy how long it took them to actually capitalize, though, because Blake Snell put 10 guys on base, and you had like one or two rush over, and there was a bunch of solo home runs.
Yeah.
So, they just had so many opportunities that eventually they came through. You know
the Padres are tough to figure out though, because they have a lot of different pitchers.
I didn't see Tim Hill at all. I mean, I would use him over Moran or whatever. Like
he's a heart attack.
He's
basically just a mirror image of Jake Reed, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. And the Mets actually do hit him well.
What did Jake Reed do against the Mets? He shut him down. Like, a funky lefty against the Mets.
Yeah, in the rain. Rain doesn't count.
In the rain.
The rain doesn't count.
But no. But the Mets do have good numbers against Tim Hill. That's what I was looking at when I looked at haters' numbers versus the Mets. Obviously, he's unhittable against the Mets. But the Mets do hit Tim Hill pretty well.
I need to call.
I think that's literally the only run he's ever
Peraza
given out
on the bench to replace what's his name, Ruff or whatever.
But listen, a few of the Padres relievers. I mean, 36 pitches, 29 pitches, 21 pitches. I mean, they burned some guys too. So I mean, their bullpen isn't fully rested either. I mean, that's what happens when you go to games.
I was waiting for the Brandon Drury revenge game all day, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So
he really doesn't.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully, he doesn't destroy it. Bassett is out if he gives up 3. I think.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the leash on him. I really am curious to see that.
I don't think there's going to be that short of a leash because of just how much you've taxed your bullpen in the first.
No, but the thing is that even though we don't like it, he may do it. He may go to Walker.
Exactly. Yeah, you have long relief options. Those are really the only ones that you have left. Plus Drew Smith, right? Is that it?
Smith?
I mean, Peterson technically.
You don't have JD Davis anymore, so he can't come into pitch.
You don't have JD Davis.
I mean, even Trevor May, he pitched an inning and a third the first game. They've been kind of using him like multiple innings lately since he's come back, which is something he wasn't doing earlier. It's actually what got him hurt the first time in Philadelphia because he wasn't like an up-down guy.
He's also stupid.
So. He's also very
that
stupid.
doesn't help the cause. So,
and I don't – yeah, what do you got?
No, I was going to say, it's really set up the way this game ended. It's just set up for a very interesting game through just for a lot of different reasons. And then guess what? Another different lineup tomorrow. So 3 games, 3 different lineups. So that's
as long as that top 4 is the same, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, they'd be a top. McNeil will be behind Alonso instead of.
I hope so. That's what I was going to say. I hope so.
Yeah.
No Vogelback after Alonso. Don't do that because, like I said, they could go to the lefty and then you're stuck with Ruff behind him or Alvarez behind the rest of the game. Don't do that. Put McNeil there, please. You don't. This is just like my thing as an old man. You don't bat the batting champ 6th, a guy who's good righty and good lefty. You don't bat him 6th. Like just.
I like Jeff behind Alonso, but like
more than a struggling Canna, more than Vogelback. Like put McNeil there. I mean, come on. If you're not going to put
so Canna sits tomorrow and we put in Gore.
Yeah, bro. Get Terrence Gore maybe.
Yeah. No, but like I say, if you're not going to put Alonso,
call up Don Smith, left field.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
Go ahead.
Wait, a genuine Mets fan. See if you can look this up. What is Naquin's numbers versus Musgrove? Because they did play in the Pirates. He played with the Pirates. He played with the Reds. He played with the Indians. Sorry, they were called the Indians. I can say that.
No, and Musgrove was in the National League still.
Just say Cleveland.
That was going on.
Cleveland.
So maybe.
Exactly.
I mean, he needs to get the strained. He needs to get the strained neck again.
Strained neck.
First rough strikeout.
Oh, the swords.
Oh, that place went nuts. Like it was brutal.
That was pretty bad news. And again, we talked about that. Like
at first,
how's he going to recover from that?
He's not.
He's done.
Yeah,
he's done. It's obvious.
It's over.
It's plain as day. Man,
it's called. It's a name we call cooked.
Yeah, it's called. It's beyond cooked. beyond cooked. So
You still
I'm
say
curious-
Indian? You say that to your friends?
Did you not solve racism? Come on.
And then the other thing is we saw Marte get the multiple hits in game 1. Then this game he took the 0-4. He did hit some balls hard. He also made a complete stupid, stepping in front of the bag when he probably should have been safe on that one ground ball.
Yeah,
so,
that was.
that definitely was
Naquin is
frustrating.
1 for 12 versus.
Okay,
Musgrove.
so it's not like a okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to like it just in case he was like killed Joe Musgrove. Like, oh, he's off the
He has
roster.
1 hit, which is an RBI double.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure who has good numbers against Musgrove, who doesn't. But again, so we talk about maybe having Marte batting second. That would help out. He like I say, hits the balls hard.
Yeah.
At least he didn't strike out. So that's still good.
No,
But
he struck out in the 8th. What do you mean?
yeah, one strikeout. Yeah, one strikeout.
Yeah,
He
and-
knows. You can really tell he's struggling with that finger.
Yeah, that throw
He's
and that throw
struggling.
was abysmal.
That throw was abysmal.
Had good
We
power.
saw.
though. It wasn't accurate, but it was strong.
It was a yeet throw. I'll tell you
At
that.
least it wasn't a noodle.
I mean,
But the presence of him in that
Just-
top
yeah.
4, it just makes it so much better. I mean,
And again, it gives you that flexibility to bat.
he's still giving you quality players.
Yeah, he was.
But
He's
that's
still-
the thing.
yeah.
Like,
And again, just giving that ability to bat McNeil 6, put Escobar all the way down to 7 or 8. Like you just have that option now with him at the top.
what was I gonna say?
Yeah. And
Okay.
then even like the other
Yeah.
times with also with stealing bases, there were times I wanted to see Lindor go a little more.
Yeah.
When he did run, it was way too late. They got to stop running with 2 strikes. If you're gonna run early. I mean, you can't. The hitter's just trying to foul it off. I mean, we happened with McNeil again yesterday. Like the opposite, and then we talked about with Gore. Go. I mean, we put you on base to run.
steal.
Why are you not running? Like what was the? I mean, oh my goodness, I just don't get the point of that. So it was just those little mistakes that we've seen in both games that I really was not a fan of.
What now?
I love this guy's analogies. They're fantastic, man. These are
Okay.
great.
A random question: what is up with this saxophone with 3 balls?
I think it had to do something with the ESPN microphone. It was annoying.
What the hell? Well, I mean, ESPN. Well, if we're gonna talk about ESPN's production, how the hell do you go to commercial when Narcos is playing in the playoffs? Are you kidding me? Literally, the only thing the Mets are known for this year, besides winning 101 games, is that stupid ass song when he comes into the game. How do you go to commercial?
Right after a blown call, too.
Exactly. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean that'd be amazing if we could just get. Oh, I would love that. Just get off
With
to a
the
big
bullpen
start
we have
and
left,
hold it
I
there.
would not feel comfortable with that.
But I mean, you feel better with a 5-run lead. than a
And
1.
if Bassett actually shows up to work, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
That should be enough.
Yeah, but I was just really glad to see Jake.
I was gonna say that.
Yo, facts.
God,
It was
they
so
were
stupid.
brutal. I mean,
God.
It's ESPN. What do you expect? But
I
God,
guess
God,
have
that's
Michael
the
K.
take,
A-Rod.
man.
I mean, Michael K. was so glad the Phillies won.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
don't
I
know.
literally turned that as soon as that Bohm caught that Bob or Souza, whoever was off.
I was trying to turn off. The TV wasn't turned off. I was spamming the button. It wouldn't turn off.
I had it muted, and I just waited for that. Like,
why was Eduardo Perez even in consideration for our manager?
I don't
job?
know. I have no idea.
Like, what did they see in him?
because he works for ESPN.
Because he works for
What
ESPN.
is he known? What is he known for? Like,
It's the
I barely
Wilpons
know.
hiring either an agent or it would have been now a TV analyst that fills the Wilpon
Oh,
way.
I think
Okay.
it's because since Boone used to be an ESPN announcer that they wanted to like try to copy the Yankees. They'd be like, "Oh, this is one too." And he's a nice guy too.
He's a nice guy. Great, nice guy. But
Oh.
And he gets on Lindor. The whole.
Hey, we gave $40 million to a
connection.
nice guy, so it works.
hey,
Glad there's only one more ESPN game. Is there?
yeah,
Promise?
because
No,
I think
because
Fox.
doesn't TBS have the American League? So
Ronnie's
the
yeah.
wild card round.
Yeah,
And
Ronnie
then
gets the
goes to
American
Fox?
League, and then we're getting Fox.
to-
We have the
I have
Fox
to
crap.
watch my teams on ESPN for 4 straight days.
Yeah, you're screwed. You're screwed.
I'm done, man.
Is there
I
a
mean,
Dude,
I
just-
know.
cast on
Listen,
that
I
thing?
know that the
Just
4th
watch
day the
the-
game's
just
gonna be
watch
over
the
by
Manning
first quarter,
cast.
but like,
I don't know if they're on Monday. Sometimes
they're not,
they don't.
they're
have
not
the
on
game.
Monday. Oh, you suck. You don't
I'm
have the
not
Manning
sure if they
cast.
are. They don't do every Monday.
Oh, you're screwed if there's no Manning cast. You got to watch Buck and
I'm not
Aikman.
sure. I hope so.
Jigs.
That's a conversation for another day. But yeah, I think the last thing was just I was just very relieved to see Jake have a big start in this kind of game because, like we said before the game, there was some concern. I certainly had some concern. You know, is Jake still that guy? And I talked about, is the velo still there? We saw some 101,
102.
we saw 102. So at least it still is in there. You know, I was just like, does he still even have it? At least he still has it when needed. So
I was expecting him in that 6th inning when he came out after 90 pitches to empty the tank and just
full bore,
95 slaughter.
Well, yeah, I the thing is that, like, did he even know that the 6th was gonna be his last? And if he did, maybe he would have won it back. And that was the other reason why I would have kept him in, is that his 6th inning was so good. It was like,
and
okay,
quick.
maybe he's gonna get his groove now. If he had an ugly 6th inning with a lot of base runners and things like that, I'd be like, okay, I can understand taking him out. But it looked like maybe he was gonna get on a roll now. So
I don't know. I would have gone inning per inning, and
yeah,
and
exactly.
just went.
Even if the way I looked at it was like it was kind of a team effort. Like, let DeGrom start. Whatever he can do, let Diaz do as far as he can. Whatever Diaz can do, let Otto, and just team whatever you get. If it's 4-3-2 or 2-3-3, whatever. Like, just to finish off the game.
I would
instead
have
of just taking DeGrom out completely and starting off with Diaz against the bottom.
He was at 99 pitches. I would have put him out there. Next hit he gives up, take him out. Have someone
Next
ready.
base runner, next base runner. Yeah.
Next base runner he gives up, take him out.
For game 2.
No, I think Scherzer. If they get to the DS, I think Scherzer's probably going game 2.
Connor Gray's taking that spot.
Shut the fuck up.
The best thing to show up whether Bassett pitches well
or not.
I mean, no matter what, you're good.
Yeah.
This Padres team could score runs. You're gonna have to score a lot of runs too. So it's just that's what it comes down to. We always say, you got to score runs to win games. I mean, you don't need to overcomplicate it. That's just how baseball works.
So
And we'll just avoid the elephant in the room about DeGrom, and we'll just moving on to the next game.
Yes,
That's it. Just moving on to the next game before I burst into tears.
And yeah, and the other thing too is that, like, you know what, we have lower viewership tonight
because we won.
Where's all my Padres fans? Where
Exactly.
are you guys?
We're the Braves fans, Phillies fans.
Welcome to
San
San Diego.
Yankee fans, where are you guys? I want the likes and everything. I mean, we want to hear from you guys. Where are my Padres fans?
Speaking of likes, for those
they
in
talked
the
so
weekly
much
stream,
junk last night. I haven't heard a peep. What happened, folks? Come on now.
For those in the Mets weekly stream, like that stream. For those in Frank's stream, like his stream. For those in Andrew's stream, like
Switch
that
to Frank.
stream.
If
you're watching us, I think we're on Twitter and Facebook too.
Yes.
What's up?
Yep.
Twitter and Facebook.
You guys are weird. What's up?
Yeah.
There we go. What's up?
Oh, there you go.
There's a Braves fan. There you go.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Braves got a date with the Phillies. So, I mean, that's
yeah. Who saw that? Oh,
my God.
Who saw the freaking Cardinals and Phillies just switch fundamentals? Like that whole series, the Phillies played like they were the Cardinals and the Cardinals.
Series.
I had St. Louis,
but
the
Phillies also had that base running blunder.
Exactly. It was just.
I don't know where my bracket went, but I can probably.
I didn't have a bracket. I just homer picks.
Yeah, no, I didn't make a bracket.
Yeah, I didn't submit it or anything. I just had it. I had Tampa beating Cleveland. Didn't happen.
I mean, you know what? We could talk about.
I had Seattle beating Toronto.
Yes, sir.
I
did.
Philly beating St. Louis, and then us beating the Padres.
All right, Frank, what do you got?
Because I didn't expect Scherzer to suck that bad.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say we could talk about like Otto almost blowing the game, but I mean, how about the Blue Jays? What?
Okay, what's the worst show?
They lost that game.
Yeah.
That was one of the scariest things I think I've ever seen. That Springer
with Bo and
it all unraveled.
That was
awful.
That was really bad.
But
that was really bad.
Because like an instant, like Springer got the contact and then laid like he was dead. I was like, what?
What I didn't like is that he couldn't walk, and I don't think he had a leg
on the replay. It looked like Bo took a worse shot.
Yeah, Bo took a shot to the arm, and it could have been
the arm.
dangerous.
I'm not worried about it. It looked like Bo might have actually hit Springer with his arm, though. That's why
Springer, I think, hit his head on the ground.
Springer's a concussion. That definitely
I think Springer got hit with Bo, and then he hit the ground like that. And the fact that he couldn't walk while not having a leg injury, that's
a concussion. Yeah, it's a Tua concussion. Yeah, it's scary.
So, win or loss, at that point, I didn't really care anymore who won that game. I was just like, is Springer okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is just terrible. So I
Dude
really
looked like he
feel-
saw a ghost when he got
Yeah, he
up.
was
Yeah,
out.
it was very ugly. So I definitely felt for George there. Great player, great guy.
Should have
It
been
was
Matt.
terrible.
Should have been a Met.
Should have been Met, but really, I mean, you know what? So we'll see how he comes back next year. I hope he's okay. There's nothing, long term with that. But
He's had
credit
too
to
many.
Seattle for never
he's
giving
had too
up,
many
though.
injuries.
The Blue Jays tried to get cute with their bullpen. Like, oh, we got a big lead. We'll be fine. But, Seattle didn't give up, and they make that comeback, and they set up for the matchup against Houston.
All thanks to Paul Sewald.
Sewald, baby.
Yeah. I mean, even Paul Sewald couldn't blow it enough.
But and the Mariners doing nothing. All that with J-Rod doing literally nothing. He went over 5. Like he literally, it was everybody else.
I have on my bracket. I have Seattle going to the World Series. So J-Rod better step up.
Oh, he will.
And it was with Robbie Ray, former Cy Young Award, getting bombed.
Oh, you knew
by
it.
Former team Blue Jays, Teoscar, just saying fat nuke after fat nuke, banga after banga from Teoscar.
He is Dallas Keuchel level of Cy Young winner.
I think he might be worse.
And they were saying that like he gave up a ton of home runs even in his Cy Young year. Since like whatever year, he's given up the most home runs in baseball. So he's just a ticking time bomb, that guy. So that was just absolutely ugly. But they're going to need him to step up. Going up against Houston, you're going to get good start after good start from that rotation. So you have faith in Castillo, but it's like, okay, Robbie Ray is going to have to step up if Seattle actually is going to go all the way.
And that's why I put. Well, my thing. Why was George Kirby the one closing that game out? Like I was going back and forth because the Met game started.
Well, they used so many guys. Diego Castillo
came in. They used Munoz, Sewald.
Yeah.
I'm like, why was Kirby the guy? Brash got used there. I'm like, why is Kirby in the game? But shout out to Kirby. Boy.
I mean,
has Brad Hand pitched at all yet?
I don't believe so.
I don't think he did.
Alvarado did. He got 2-run fat.
Look at that.
Yeah, I don't know why they would go to Alvarado.
I was waiting for Brad Hand to come into the 9th and blow it, but
you have an all-star
wait for another
right there, and you failed to use. And that's the thing. I mean, like David Robertson pitched really well yesterday for Philadelphia, and it's like, I mean, he would have been a nice guy to have in that 7th inning and not have to burn Diaz so badly and burn Otto so badly because they got Michael Givens, but they don't trust Michael Givens. They trust Lugo more than Michael Givens. I guess maybe trust David Pearson more than Michael Givens because he's left-handed. So it's just like. Yeah,
we didn't see Givens. Did we see Givens?
Yes. He pitched yesterday.
He pitched the
I zoned out after they gave up.
W.
Yeah. Well, we need one more of those.
So. One more.
Yeah.
And then a date with LA. Yeah.
And then Cleveland Yankees. I was really hoping for Tampa. I want Tampa Yankees, but Cleveland,
I want Houston Yankees.
I think. Listen, I tell you what, Yankees.
To be honest, I don't care who wins that out of the two of those, but I just want to see like a fight break out. That's what I want to see.
The Yankees, it's going to be a tough road, Houston or Seattle, because Seattle played them so well down the stretch in the regular season. No matter what, Yankees are going to have a tough CS. For sure.
The Yankees are as far as Judge can.
Judge takes them.
Yes. Yep.
That's it.
So,
and I mean, Cleveland.
Some compelling matchups coming up. And then, we'll see who faces the Dodgers, whether it's us or San Diego. And then I guess if the Mets win tomorrow, Carrasco starts game 1.
Or if Taiwan doesn't pitch tomorrow, probably one of those two. Yeah.
Carrasco starts game 1.
Come on, All-Star. Come on. We got All-Star versus All-Star. It's not like he got bombed the last time he pitched in LA.
I wonder, what do they value more? Walker's not great start against Los Angeles or Carrasco just being bad against everybody lately? Because we talk so much like, what have you done for me lately? Ride the hot hand. Like, Carrasco's just been bad against even bad teams. Like, at least Walker does well against the bad teams. And Carrasco's doing well against nobody since he's come back. So, I mean, I'm curious. But again, it's like you try to trust your veteran, the guy with his experience.
Here's the deal. The first game would be in Los Angeles, correct? The first 2 games?
Yep, first 2 games.
Yeah.
That is a true statement.
The goal is
win 1.
What it was in 2015, and that's to steal a game.
Yep.
You have to steal a game. Like, there's nothing you can do. If you go down to 2-0 going home.
It's not, because you would have Jake lined up for game 3.
You would.
He's like, you got to look at this differently. You don't have the normal ace versus ace, ace versus ace. You're going to have most likely, I guess, Kershaw or Gonsolin game 1. Or Urias will probably go game 1, and then either Gonsolin and Kershaw against Carrasco or Walker, Scherzer,
So
DeGrom in
if
game
Max
3.
were to start game 1, it'd be 3 games rest, correct?
I'm not. He's pitching game 3.
Or
I'm
four-
not even.
Yeah, because
Or four
the
games
reason
rest.
why I'm not starting Max on 3 days rest is because like somebody else gonna have to pitch anyway. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like if you're going to use Carrasco at some
Yeah.
point, I would just use him and have Max fully rested, have
For
Jake
game
fully
2.
rested, and,
Mhm.
and you just use him in the middle, and then you go Bassett, and then see where you're at. I mean, maybe you go Max, then maybe we could start talking about short rest. But
Mhm.
yeah. It's just, when you when you're in the wild card series, you just make that road tougher. I mean, you're going to be in a situation where and if you do have to go short rest against the Dodgers, well, then you go and what are you doing against the Braves? You know what I mean? Like, so no matter what, it adds up. It's a long road. It's a gauntlet. It's a absolute gauntlet now.
I mean, we talked about this in the pregame of how it just felt like a downward spiral ever since they got swept by the Cubs. Just felt like one of those things where it's just like you're not having fun for 6 out of the 7 days. And like Jake put a stop to that tonight. And I'm glad he did. He got rid of that trend, and hopefully that's some momentum going into tomorrow. This was a long game, though. Like they were sweating so hard tonight
that they're gonna come out flat tomorrow.
Like I'm just really worried that they run out of gas tomorrow. Like, and they were sweating for good reason, facing elimination.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's just the whole situation you put yourself in the wild card round. So,
but the thing is that they're lucky though, because if this was a few years ago, they would have been home already. They would have been eliminated. 1 game playoff.
I'm praying for a rain out. Let's go. Pray for a rain out, folks. Let's do it. Extra day of rest for the arms.
No, you wouldn't, because you would just have to go right into the DS with no days off. So if you use DS, you're gonna have to use them. Just get the game in. No rain. Just get it done tomorrow. Because they're starting Tuesday. No, because you would have to just push it to Monday.
You got to rest the bullpen arms because I don't trust any other fucking.
Bassett complete game then. 150 pitches.
It's going to be Bass's last start as a Met. This is a big start for him because, we were talking so much about DeGrom, like, okay, contract a year, and he's got to come through in a big spot. The same goes for Bassett. If Bassett can have a great performance, he's going to really increase his offseason value, not just for the Mets, but any other team that may want to get a bid in on him. So it's a big outing for him personally, as well as, obviously, the significance for the team. So big moment for Bassett tomorrow. I'm very curious to see how he handles it.
I will say one thing. Lugo's been making a good case for a while to bring him back on a 1-year deal.
If he wants a cheap deal.
But again, I think
the thing that I feel
they need to blow this up.
Yeah, the thing I don't like about Lugo is kind of like the Joely case, where as his career has progressed, it feels like very specific circumstances. We talked about don't use back-to-back days, don't use them 2 innings. I wonder what if they brought back Lugo, only if it's really cheap, as a guy that mostly faces lefties. Like, how true is that reverse splits thing? Because, are the Mets going to sign an actual lefty this offseason? I don't have confidence in it. So maybe you actually consider, okay, maybe Lugo is a guy who gets lefties out and just put him in that kind of role, a little lower leverage.
With a guy who can miss spots occasionally a lot, I wouldn't bank on that. I will tell you right now, but
it's like, what's the alternative? David Peterson.
We're going to have to say goodbye to a lot of these pending free agents. We know we will have.
Yes, they're not going to bring back everybody. That's for sure. So
not everybody will be brought back. I'd say that the most that gets brought back are either three or 4 of them, and that's what I expect. But other than that, that's a question for the offseason. And we're not in the offseason. We thought we'd be right tonight.
We're still fighting. We're still in a boxing
still fighting.
match.
We're still alive. We live another day. And let's just keep that in the back of our minds. Even though when number 48 walked off the mound after the 6th inning, I got a little emotional, but you know what? Next game.
He'll be back.
I hope so.
Does anybody have any final questions or statements they'd like to make before we head out? And We get ready, another one in a few hours. Another pregame show, another postgame show. So this is the place to be. So make sure you guys are locked in. And if in the meantime, in between, if you guys want to watch some report card videos or the stream we did Thursday, previewing a lot of stuff, but prior to tomorrow's game starting, this way you guys got content to keep you busy. So this definitely is the place to be. Once again, we thank everybody for watching, whether it was today or yesterday or the day before, everybody who's watching in the future. We appreciate everybody, everyone that contributed yesterday. Like I said, my Braves fans, Padres fans, Dodgers fans, everything else. A clean, non-offensive comment, LGM. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Good job, Chris.
Nicely said. Well done. You want Braves versus Mets again? No more rematches. Enough already. We need some fresh matchups now. I mean, I can't believe this, but let's go Phillies. I can't take another series with the Braves. I mean,
it has to be Atlanta.
These teams are good. These teams are all good. These teams are all good. So I'm not gonna...
I'll take my chances with that bullpen and those fundies. Please, just give us a chance against the Phillies. Oh, can you imagine? That basically would mean that the CS would actually be the easiest series if you ended up facing the Phillies, because the Dodgers are the tougher matchup then.
All right. Well, what was I going to say? Part 4 of the grades, they'll probably be out the day after tomorrow. So that would be
Monday.
Monday. That will be about Monday because that'll be an off day either way.
The day
after tomorrow, Monday.
Let's get AJ Preller fired tomorrow.
Yeah.
How about that?
And let's get Manny Machado to opt out. Because Brett Beatty will be a bust. So we're
I will fight you.
Third base. Escobar is going to be on his way out. Manny Machado, you're a New York Met. This way we can get Judge Machado back to back, and it'll be a great lineup to watch on a daily basis.
Ohtani hitting fifth?
Yeah, no. So it's going to be. So basically, we talk so much about good 1 through 4. Just think of that 1 through 4. That's going to be Ohtani, Trey Turner, Judge, Machado. Then you have Alonso in there and Lindor. Like, it's going to be a stacked team. So I just can't wait for it to happen. Very exciting. And then James McCann batting ninth. So with that, thank you.
The $800 million payroll. Why not?
Hey, do it.
We can afford it. We got the money.